Hello, everybody. Professor Link here, the professor of professors, the teacher of teachers, and welcome to Thursday's Teaching Tech Tips, Tricks, Technology, however you want to take that. Now, I kind of teased it on my previous video on Monday. If you haven't seen that, right there. But if you did, and we were talking about Zoom and how digital backgrounds just really look bad. I wanted to kind of talk a little bit today more in leaning to that, and something that really is how I base a lot of my teaching models on, and that's the camera right there. And that is really highly important. And there are several answers to this conundrum over what kind of camera do you use. And please, these are only my experiences. Please take them with a solid grain of salt, but there are many different ways to go. Here at your base station, whether that be a desktop, whether that be where you normally plant your laptop, whether that be anything along those lines, you need to have a stationary camera. Now, again, there's no right or wrong answer to that one. Does it need to be high def? No, not necessarily. That's only if you can get your hands on one. Although you can get your hands on those pretty easily it's not like during the pandemic when, all of a sudden the prices of the high def or just the regular, Logitech cameras went through the roof. Right now, this is working off, what you're looking at right here is working off a Logitech C920. That's perfect for you. If you get your hands on one of those reasonably, it's perfect. Anything that does high def, HD, 1090, you're fine. That's perfectly fine. But, I mentioned that laptop, and of course, I mentioned the laptop, and most of you are probably thinking, hey, Link, there's already one built into my laptop. Is that okay? And in all honesty, yes, absolutely. Use this one if this is what you have available to you. In all honesty, when it gets down to this one, this is what's more important, whether some type of external microphone, because if you're just a little bit under high definition, that's fine. Nobody needs to count the amount of pores that you have in your skin right now. But if they can't understand you, that's a whole nother ballpark. And we'll be talking about that in our next video series about microphones and things along those lines. So that one is just fine. If this is what you have available to you, that's okay. I have never once had a student go, oh, well, your video is a little grainy. Oh, it's not high def. That really bothers me. What I have had them say, I can't understand what you're saying, because I'm too far away from the microphone or something along those lines goes wrong. They pay way more attention to this than they do this. So if you've got already a cam in your laptop, that's perfectly fine. Go with it. I usually suggest if it's stationary, have a stationary cam, and there's other options for that as well. And yes, you've seen it time and time again already on this channel, me wandering around with a cell phone. And again, if this is what you have, especially if you're doing announcements, change your venue. Do them as you've seen some other shorts on this channel, me walking around. That's a really good possibility and a really good opportunity for you to just have something looking different. And there's nothing wrong with that. It works in a lot of cases, and it may look better if a student's looking on their phone at your video content. That may work better. I just highly recommend making sure you use the outside facing cameras if at all possible on that one instead of the selfie camera, because again, you get more in a frame that way. And if at all possible, make sure the phone is a little closer to you for that understanding aspect. Now I'm using the external mic and it works in that case, but you have several different opportunities and different options. All right. And finally, there's another one. I didn't have this one set up in time because I kind of ran out of camera mounts at this one, but the good old-fashioned video camera or a GoPro. If you happen to have a GoPro sitting in a drawer, I do have one somewhere around here, sitting in a drawer that I have used before as a USB-controlled webcam. Now, if you're using the GoPro, be careful. You're going to get that fisheye effect on this one. But if you've got a camcorder laying around in a drawer or laying around somewhere that attaches through a USB connection, that can be used as a webcam. Or if you don't mind transferring, if you've got an easy way like this one here, I use for my poetry slams, it runs off an SD card. Very easy to transfer those files. But if you're recording things on the fly to immediately upload for your students, because remember, they want authenticity. They don't want rehearsed. They don't want this. They want authenticity. That may not be for speed factor. That may not be the way you want to go, but it's an excellent option if you don't have a webcam sitting around. But in a lot of cases, you can find them $50 and under in a lot of different avenues, be it online or on ground. So also on the other camera, if you happen to notice the full shirt, you know, those Kings Island fans, let me know in the comments. But really, that's a really quick little snapshot on video cameras. Remember, they're not as important as the microphone. We'll talk about that in future videos. But the best technology is a camera, whether it be on your desktop or a static camera, whether it be on the laptop, whether it's just your cell phone. It can really be an excellent teaching tool. Hey, thanks for joining me. If you like to tell your friends, especially your teaching friends, if you didn't, tell your teaching enemies.